say allegedly, has done things and allegedly participated in a lot of things that the public would not be happy to know.
He has to take responsibility for what he did as an individual. Sean is the one who pulled that gun out. Sean is the one who shot. So he has to take responsibility for that.
The scandal surrounding Diddy and Jay-Z has ignited a firestorm of controversy in the entertainment world, leaving fans, critics, and even their closest allies questioning their influence and the shadowy tactics they've allegedly used to maintain their power. But here's the twist. As their reputations unravel, a chilling pattern is emerging, one of intimidation, manipulation, and behind-the-scenes power placed straight out of a Hollywood thriller. Even while Diddy remains locked in a high-security facility and Jay-Z roams free, both appear to be orchestrating efforts to control the narrative, silence witnesses, and possibly rewrite their own legacies.
Combs is separated from the general population, right? He's with, or was with, Sam Bankman-Fried at least, and the irony there is that someone who was granted bail tried to tamper with witnesses, so the judge revoked his bail. So that just goes to show how these federal judges feel about witness tampering before trial.
The scandal engulfing Diddy and Jay-Z has set the entertainment world ablaze, prompting fans, critics, and even their closest allies to question the extent of their influence and the dubious tactics they've allegedly used to stay on top. But here's the real shocker. As their reputations crumble, a disturbing pattern of intimidation, manipulation, and cover power moves is coming to light, like something out of a Hollywood thriller. Despite Diddy being confined to a high-security facility and Jay-Z still walking free, both seem to be pulling strings to control the narrative, silence witnesses, and reshape their legacies.
So yesterday, Monday, Diddy celebrated his 55th birthday, but this year was a lot different. It was no Diddy parties. It was none of that. None of that stuff. Well, happily, so I guess right now. But anyway, so this is his first birthday behind bars.
What's he allegedly saying during these calls? Prosecutors claim that Diddy has been directing family members and associates to dig up dirt on witnesses, intimidate them, and even offer payouts to prevent them from testifying. In fact, one note reportedly confiscated from his jail cell during a routine sweep allegedly outlined strategies for uncovering compromising information about individuals involved in the case. Think about that for a moment. Even while confined to a detention center, Diddy still seems to wield enough power and influence to reach people on the outside. It's almost as if he believes his authority transcends the walls of his cell. Adding to this, prosecutors have pointed to veiled threats hidden in coded language. In one intercepted call, Diddy allegedly mentioned keeping the worms away from the house and reminded someone that he kept a sample just in case. Many speculate this is code for holding on to incriminating evidence as leverage, a classic tactic to ensure loyalty and silence. He's also been heard making cryptic references to weathering a storm and needing vitamins to stay strong. It reads like a scene from a spy thriller, but it's all too real. The fallout from these alleged actions is placing significant strain on his legal team. During a recent bail hearing, Diddy's lawyers expressed frustration, claiming he's making their job nearly impossible by refusing to follow their advice to stay quiet and maintain a low profile. Instead, Diddy appears to have gone rogue, continuously pushing boundaries. Case in point, he recently posted a video on social media featuring his children, a seemingly heartfelt moment clearly aimed at softening his public image and influencing potential jurors. Prosecutors wasted no time in criticizing the video, calling it a blatant attempt to manipulate public perception and undermine the justice process. Though the clip may appear heartwarming on the surface, its timing and intent have raised serious questions. Was it a genuine display of fatherhood or a calculated PR move? Regardless, it's clear Diddy isn't playing by the rules, and his legal team seems to be scrambling to contain the damage.
No, I'm not surprised by the ruling because, as she cited in her order, there are very serious allegations about the danger that he potentially poses to other witnesses and the public at large. There are allegations that he has, been violent with others. He's also attempted to allegedly intimidate other witnesses and still contact witnesses while incarcerated.
And speaking of fallout, let's turn to the witnesses and victims allegedly ensnared in Diddy's web. The accusations depict a man willing to go to extreme lengths to silence those who might testify against him. prosecutors have cited multiple instances where witnesses were reportedly pressured, either through direct contact, veiled threats, or offers of financial incentives, to stay quiet or provide favorable testimony. One chilling detail revealed in court records claims Diddy instructed his associates to make certain witnesses disappear from the equation altogether. Given these allegations, it's no surprise the court has repeatedly denied his bail requests, citing him as both a flight risk and a threat to the integrity of the trial.
At the courthouse in Lower Manhattan, the judge ordering the prosecution to turn over its findings from a jail cell raid, Diddy's jail cell, just yesterday. What were the contents of those raids?
Well, apparently, according to the defense, they're legal documents. The government saying no, on the contrary, they're just some handwritten notes and a calendar.
Now, here's where things get even more complicated. While Diddy is orchestrating his defense from behind bars, Jay-Z finds himself tangled in the same legal quagmire, with mounting accusations against him. A civil lawsuit filed by an anonymous woman accuses Jay-Z of being complicit in some of the most disturbing allegations yet. The lawsuit claims that he and Diddy were involved in a shocking incident over 2 decades ago. Though Jay-Z has vehemently denied these accusations, his response has done little to calm the storm. In fact, his statement suggesting the accuser filed criminal charges instead of a civil suit has only fueled the controversy. Critics argue that he's deflecting responsibility and attempting to undermine the victim's credibility, further deepening the public scrutiny surrounding him.
This morning, rap mogul Jay-Z is denying allegations he assaulted a 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Sean Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include Jay-Z. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was assaulted by both men.
And let's not ignore the timing of all this. Jay-Z's addition to the lawsuit came after months of speculation about his ties to Diddy's legal troubles. Some suggest the former rivals may now be cooperating in a mutual defense strategy. Could Jay-Z be subtly aiding Diddy's efforts to control the narrative, or is he desperately trying to distance himself? Either way, his involvement has tarnished his once pristine public image, raising questions about just how deep these allegations might go.
A blistering statement. Jay-Z accuses Jane Doe's attorney of trying to blackmail him. He said further, quote, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree?"
What's particularly striking is how both men, despite their vastly different circumstances, are connected by a common thread: their alleged use of power and influence to manipulate those around them. For Diddy, it's about maintaining control from behind the walls of a detention center, using every tactic available to bend the system to his will. For Jay-Z, it's about carefully navigating the court of public opinion, where his every move is scrutinized under intense scrutiny. Together, they serve as a case study in the far-reaching influence high-profile figures can wield, even when facing serious allegations. But the real question is, how has this impacted those at the heart of the scandal, the witnesses and victims? The emotional and psychological toll cannot be overstated. Imagine the courage it takes to step forward with accusations against two of the most powerful men in the entertainment industry, fully aware of the backlash and scrutiny that awaits. And yet, despite the alleged intimidation and pressure tactics, some have chosen to speak out, determined to see justice served. Their bravery in the face of such overwhelming odds is a powerful testament to the human spirit, even as it highlights the darker, more insidious side of celebrity culture.
He, of course, is more than annoyed, would be an understatement.
Yeah.
He has a family and he has a lot to protect, including his brand. But to the extent that he's saying, hey, come after me criminally, that could be likely. Why do I say that? Because in New York, and what's alleged in this complaint is forcible compulsion. What that means in English is that it's saying that he held her down, her.
As this saga continues, one question looms. Will the truth prevail, or will the influence of these two moguls obscure justice? Only time will tell. What's clear is that this story is far from over. As the court battles unfold, the world watches, eager to see if Diddy and Jay-Z can evade the consequences of their alleged actions, or if this is the beginning of the end of their dominance in the entertainment industry.
And of course, the allegation is that Mr. Combs did the same thing. And so if those facts are actually accurate, it would require an investigation by prosecutors. And if true, right, you could pursue it criminally.
With Diddy's legal team scrambling to control his actions and Jay-Z's name being pulled deeper into the controversy, the stage is set for a showdown that could reshape their legacies forever. But how did it come to this? To truly grasp the gravity of their current predicament, we need to step back and examine the rise of these two titans, how they built their empires, the choices that defined their paths, and the dark secrets that may have been lurking beneath the surface. The ascent of Diddy and Jay-Z is a story driven by ambition, talent, and an unrelenting hunger for success. Two young men from New York, both determined to escape difficult beginnings and leave an indelible mark on the world. Diddy with his bold persona and marketing genius, and Jay-Z with his razor-sharp intellect and unmatched lyrical prowess, seem destined to shape the music industry, yet their dazzling success carries a shadow, one that grows darker with every new revelation about their alleged actions and the controversial tactics they may have used to reach the top.
If they did in fact occur, their argument is more than likely going to be that this activity was consensual, that this person was a willing participant, and not only that, but that these individuals assumed the risk of being present at those parties, of engaging and voluntarily engaging in this conduct and being in those spaces, consuming alcohol and things of that nature. So certainly.
Let's rewind to the early days when the world was just beginning to take notice of these two powerhouses. Diddy, born Sean Combs, was already making waves as a young intern at Uptown Records. Even then, he was known for his relentless drive. Stories from those who worked with him described someone who would stop at nothing to get ahead. He wasn't just ambitious. He was strategic, always calculating his next move. When he launched Bad Boy Entertainment in 1993, it was clear he wasn't just trying to play the game. He was determined to rewrite the rules. Meanwhile, Jay-Z, born Sean Carter, was honing his craft as a street poet turned rapper. Unlike Diddy, Jay-Z's rise was slower and more methodical. He didn't burst onto the scene with extravagant parties or big-name cosigns. Instead, he built his reputation brick by brick. In 1996, he released his debut album, Reasonable Doubt, under his own label, Rockefeller Records. The album was a critical success and set the tone for a career defined by both lyrical brilliance and a sharp, often ruthless, business acumen.
It sounds like there was probably a lot of hidden cameras as well. Is that what is being talked about?
Yes, this was actually in his Atlanta home, at a home he had in Atlanta at one point. And it does seem that the person isn't like looking into the video, so it's, to me, doesn't seem like that person knows they're being videotaped. It doesn't seem like they're active participant in the videotape.
The two men quickly became staples in the hip-hop world, but their paths didn't truly intersect until the late 90s. By then, Diddy had already solidified his status as a mogul, with Bad Boy dominating the charts thanks to artists like the Notorious Big, Faith Evans, and 112. Jay-Z, on the other hand, was emerging as not just a rapper, but a powerful businessman. Their friendship, built on mutual respect and a shared understanding of the hustle, was cemented during this time. However, like any relationship in the high-stakes world of entertainment, it wasn't without its complexities. Diddy and Jay-Z's bond was often labeled a friendly rivalry, but behind the scenes, there was always an undercurrent of competition. Both men wanted to be crowned the King of New York, the ultimate symbol of success in hip-hop. While they collaborated on projects and publicly supported each other, whispers of tension persisted. Some claimed Diddy resented Jay-Z's rising influence, especially as Rockefeller began to rival Bad Boy's dominance. Others argued Jay-Z saw Diddy more as a showman than a true artist, someone who relied on flash and spectacle rather than substance.
Everybody familiar with the old Houdini? So what Diddy's lawyers are trying to do is pull a Houdini. They're trying to say that the evidence that they have is different. Well, it's not different. The video that the entire world has seen is not going to go away. The fact that he had parties that were freak-offs, is not going away. So it's just a question of whether or not Diddy is able to make bond.
Despite the rumors, Diddy and Jay-Z maintained a united front, often appearing together at industry events and even collaborating on music. However, their bond was tested in 1999 when both men found themselves caught up in legal troubles. That year, Diddy was arrested following a nightclub incident, while Jay-Z faced charges after an altercation with a record executive. Though the incidents were unrelated, they marked a pivotal moment for both. Suddenly, their carefully curated images were at risk, and they had to face the reality that their actions had consequences. For Diddy, the fallout was immediate. Although he was ultimately acquitted, the scandal damaged his reputation and raised questions about the culture of excess and recklessness that seemed to define Bad Boy at the time. Jay-Z, on the other hand, managed to emerge relatively unscathed, aided by his legal team and his ability to control the narrative. But the events of 1999 served as a wake-up call for both men, reminding them that the very system that had helped elevate them could just as easily bring them down.
That's it. If it is privilege, of course they won't. But if it really is what the prosecution says, that has nothing to do with the case, or even worse, it's actually evidence of witness tampering, because we all know the attorney-client privilege, there's a crime fraud exception. You can't use your lawyer to perpetuate a future or continuing fraud or crime. So if the documents are what the government says they are, they're going to get them again. And again, it's just going to be a matter of days, because I don't expect.
In the years that followed, Diddy and Jay-Z focused on expanding their empires. Diddy ventured into fashion with his Scene John clothing line, while Jay-Z diversified his portfolio, investing in sports management, streaming services, and real estate. Their influence stretched far beyond music, becoming powerful symbols of what was possible for Black entrepreneurs in America. However, with great power came even greater scrutiny, and as their profiles rose, so did the rumors surrounding their behavior behind the scenes. One of the most persistent allegations against both men is their alleged exploitation of those around them. For Diddy, this often manifested in his control over his artists and a tight grip on Bad Boy's operations. Numerous former Bad Boy artists have spoken out over the years, claiming unfair contracts, unpaid royalties, and even psychological manipulation. Maze, one of the label's most successful acts, famously accused Diddy of refusing to sell them back the rights to his music, despite Maze offering a substantial sum. And he's not the only one. Artists like Faith Evans, Total, and 112 have all suggested they felt undervalued and underpaid during their time at Bad Boy.
They probably didn't see these notes, and they never will.
But if you're Diddy, don't you want your notes back?
Yeah.
If you've spent so many hours gathering evidence for your side or, strategy or whatever, for me, I'd be oh no, please don't destroy, please return.
Jay-Z, though not as openly confrontational with his artists, has faced his own share of criticism. His feud with former Rockefeller co-founder Dame Dash stands as one of the most notorious splits in hip-hop history. Once seen as inseparable partners, the two had a falling out in the early 2000s, with Dash accusing Jay-Z of betrayal and greed. The breakup of Rockefeller was messy and highly public, leaving many questioning whether Jay-Z's ambition came at the expense of his loyalty to those who helped him rise. However, the most shocking allegations against both Diddy and Jay-Z have surfaced in recent years. Both men have been accused of using their power and influence to manipulate and intimidate others, particularly women. While these allegations remain unproven, they have cast a dark cloud over their legacies, raising serious questions about the culture within the music industry. For Diddy, these claims are especially damaging, given his current legal troubles and the increasing number of people willing to speak out against him. Jay-Z, though not facing the same level of scrutiny, has still had his name dragged into the conversation, with some suggesting that his silence on certain matters speaks volumes.
I'm not surprised with the decision. I'm surprised that Judge Subramanian entertained it. He held a 2-hour hearing, which we were covering live, and he issued a 5-page written order. Most other judges, including the 2 previous judges, to consider this issue, summarily denied the bail motion. I think a lot of it stems from Judge Subramanian being a newer judge. This is a Biden appointee. He has a civil background.
The accusations have also shed light on the dynamic between Diddy and Jay-Z. While they've always been seen as equals, their relationship appears far more complicated. Some insiders claim Diddy has long resented Jay-Z's ability to stay above the scandals that have plagued his own career. Others believe Jay-Z has deliberately distanced himself from Diddy in recent years, cautious about being linked to the mogul's increasingly tarnished reputation.
I agree, and the risk of flight was always going to be a tough argument for the government because obviously Combs voluntarily came to New York. He surrendered his passports through his lawyer. He could have fled after the March raids of his Miami and Los Angeles homes, but he didn't. He has access to 2 private jets. I think it was a tougher argument. I know the government made the argument, but clearly the best argument was the dangerousness and the witness tampering. They had much more evidence.
What's undeniable is the profound impact Diddy and Jay-Z have had on the music industry and beyond. Their rise to the top stands as a testament to their talent, ambition, and drive. However, it also serves as a cautionary tale about the price of success and the extreme lengths some are willing to take to maintain power. As the allegations against them continue to unfold, the world is left to question how much of their success was truly earned through talent and hard work, and how much was a result of manipulation and exploitation. As this saga continues, one thing is certain: Diddy and Jay-Z's legacies are far more complex than anyone imagined. Their story isn't just about fame and fortune, it's about power, control, and the dark side of the music industry. While their fans continue to celebrate their achievements, the growing number of voices speaking out against them serves as a stark reminder that even the most untouchable figures can face accountability. The question now is, how will they navigate this storm? Will they emerge unscathed, or is this the moment that will define their careers and lives? Only time will tell. As the world watches, one thing remains clear: the story of Diddy and Jay-Z is far from over. So what do you think? Are Diddy and Jay-Z truly untouchable? Or is this the beginning of the end for their reign at the top? How far will they go to maintain their power and influence? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, stay tuned for more celebrity gossip and insider details. Goodbye for now.